I don't know if y'all know, but I'm a black man. I don't, I know sometimes it's hard to believe. I'm going to talk about and react to this video in which they talk about the pressures of being a black creator. Shout out Venus Orion Comics. I'm going to react to him talking about this, the plight of being a black comic creator.
I came across a interesting question over social media, and it says, as a black comic creator, do you feel pressured to create stories specifically for black people? And honestly, that question stuck with me because the more I thought about it, the more I realized something I've been dealing with ever since I launched Venus Orion Comics last year.
It's pretty
Not just as a comic
supportive.
creator, but as a black creator in general. And I think this conversation is much bigger than comics because one thing that I've started to notice over the year since I launched Venus Orion Comics is that black creators are expected to create a very specific type of art. And if you don't, then your blackness gets questioned. So
Mm,
recently there was some controversy surrounding a YouTuber named Comics Explained. Now, if you're on the comic side of YouTube, then you already know who this is. I've been watching him pretty much for years. Well, recently, over time, he started getting pretty much criticized or attacked.
Because Comics Explained is black, because he has a massive platform, people, mostly black people, want him to cover black comic books.
and the funny thing is, Comics Explain is a halfie. um, and it's like we need to understand that just because you're half, that you know how they always go back, one drop makes you black. No, no, it's very different. And what are you doing over here? Um, I don't subscribe to that because now you want him to just disregard his other half. Like that makes no sense. He could have had great parents, one black, one white, and like, disregard what the white parent did because, he's just a black guy. I don't see that. I think of mixed people as just, mixed people. I don't see them as they're black because they have one drop in them. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's like y'all don't care what white people think, but then y'all care what white people think. Like I'm talking about like the really pro black people. Like you don't give a crap what white people think, but then it's like stuff like this where they're mixed, they're not black, they're mixed. You follow what the white person says. That's it's just bizarre to me.
And because you can say he doesn't see race, he just sees a comic as a comic, and maybe he says there are some comics he does not want to cover, people call him
He
out
doesn't.
for his coverage.
Sorry about that. You build your audience up, and now like they feel like they can dictate everything you do now. Now, I'm not saying that it's not cool to be like, take requests and stuff like that, but it's like, this is my channel and I talk about the things I talk about, right? And if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. And you can start your own channel and talk about what you want to talk about. It was like with the Gachi Yakuta with K and stuff. It's like you build a platform that people enjoy. And then all of a sudden, some people in that group think they should have more influence on your story than they should. And it's like, shut up and enjoy the ride. Because you came to this story and became a fan of it because of what I was already coming up with. So just let me do my thing. It's more so the people that are like, you need to have more representation and blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, just pump the brakes. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do like it, then shut up and let me do it and just continue to enjoy it. But anyway,
To cover, to not to cover, how he covers it, if he gets covered.
And the controversy had gotten so big to the point that he had to step away from YouTube for quite some time. And watching this unfold made me reflect on something. Why are black creators constantly expected to fit into a social or political box? And
Yeah,
why does it feel like we're not allowed to simply exist as ourselves creatively? Because this
yeah.
is something that I've personally experienced. Like, ever since I launched Very On Colors Vampire Killers last year in 2025, I've been going to conventions, promoting the comics, spoken with readers, and there's a pattern that I've also noticed while I attended these conventions. A lot of times another black person would approach my booth and they'll compliment my work. They'll even say that the world building is interesting and that the art is cool and the characters seem interesting. And then
That's what,
eventually the conversation begins to shift. The tone, the feel, the atmosphere between the two of us just start to feel a bit uncomfortable or uneasy for a moment. And suddenly I am hit with that question. And that question is, why don't your comics represent us? Or
yes, bro. Yes. I know that feeling. I do know that feeling because when I didn't have my book and I was just doing like fan art and stuff, they would be like, "Well, why aren't you making this black character? Why aren't you doing fan art of this black character? Why aren't you doing fan art of that black character?" So I get it, bro. It is uncomfortable when you're just there's always that pause, right? There's always that pause where you're talking, and they're like, "Yeah, so where's the black people in this?" You're like, you're like, you're like, okay, well, or they always want to talk to you like have a deep in-depth discussion about like being pro-black. Like it's like, can you just enjoy the comics, please? Like, yeah, man, you know. Oh, and then we're the other thing. We're having this event where it's just like all of us and we're all together and we're just gonna promote blackness and its positivity and you should definitely come to the event. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, I'm never okay. And maybe this is me being kind of a I don't know. I feel like sometimes because obviously I'm a black person, and it's like it's not the fact that I care about the skin color of like characters or creators or whatever, but it's like I want to see my people do well, but I don't want to see them do well based on let's tell Negro stories. Like it's never just we like your comic and it stays in that. It's always something like pro blackish.
your characters don't look black, or this feel too inspired by anime. And what that really means
Sorry, I'm going to call him out. His name is Darren, I think it's Darren Jackson. He does like Star Wars realistic art. And he said the same thing to me. Hey man, you're never gonna sell that art because, you've taken too much influence from manga and anime and stuff, and people aren't on that. Mind you. Mind you, sales tell differently that people are on that. Conventions popping up tell you people are on that. Going to the theater and having actual animes playing in a theater and shattering records like Demon Slayer, tells you differently.
is that my art doesn't match what they believe black art should look like. And
Yep.
that's the part that frustrates me the most. What exactly does black enough means creatively? I
Mm.
have black characters. Very On Colors Vampire Killers is actually the first comic book series led by black characters to launch my universe of Phase 1, The Foundation. Because
Yeah.
the issue isn't actually about representation. The issue is they want a specific type of representation,
Yes.
whether it's aesthetics, a specific skin tone, a specific cultural performance,
Hmm.
and if it don't fit their definition, then suddenly it doesn't count. I remember being at ZoloCon of 2024 promoting Very On Colors Vampire Killers up into the actual campaign launch of 2025. And I remember being approached by another black creator who came to my booth, and he told me my comics had potential, or he would say, it's all right. And the thing that really stood out the most to me is that he was saying that the art style and the direction I decided to go is what's going to hold me back as a black creator, because it favors
Might have
too
had the
much
Jackson,
of the anime
the Darren
side of
Jackson, the
things.
Gerald
And he
Jackson
pretty much
experience.
basically told me to my face that anime and manga is for Asians, and I would never have a seat at their table.
He probably got the Daryl Jackson experience for me.
Then he turned around and just said to me that I should make my work look more black, because that's where the money is. And I remember sitting there saying that, why can't this just be my style? This style that I chose is a marriage between both Western and Eastern that I love together and brought them together to create the style that I have. Why does my creativity suddenly becomes invalid because it doesn't fit somebody else's idea of blackness? And why do I need permission to create stories that I want to tell?
Amen.
After he said that, and after criticizing my work and saying that it's all right, he takes out his phone and shows me his work. And he's the creator of the HBCU universe, which is the historically black college universe that he created.
Okay. Have I met this guy before? Wonder if I met this guy. I did get approached about going to the HBCU con. They have comic cons and stuff. And I kind of was like, yeah, sure, I'll think about it. But really in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm not going.
Of superheroes. And he showed it to me.
Welcome to the Gator Pit, son.
Off the whole block ice cream, yo.
And after he showed it to me, and I'm looking like, seriously? Looking at his work and then looking at mine?
Damn it, kid, I'm on my way.
What is going on
Kid, did you
here?
forget? The party was canceled to avoid a potential police raid. Your friend should already know that.
No fucking way. Is he even human?
doing?
Jasmine, step away from the window right now.
Damn it. Looks like the police are headed in your direction.
No, wait. Jasmine!
Only then will you become the man I remember. Hezekiah Trippin.
It's actually pretty cool.
Seriously? And what's even more frustrating as a black creator is that you're being attacked from both sides of the spectrum. Because one side, if there's any hint of black or any hints at diversity, it's automatically labeled as woke. Don't even.
I've never had that experience. I wonder what it is that I can have all these minorities run around my series and no one has said, oh, that's so woke. So it's weird.
Investigate it, don't even research it. They see a black creator, they see some diversity, and it's automatically woke. And
I would also say that people automatically assume it's woke because, unfortunately, that is the majority of black comics, black people making comics. So I don't blame them because I've done the same thing for a lot of black comics. I've just automatically assumed that they were woke garbage because I'm like, it's more of it'll happen than it won't happen.
He came with hope. So, we took him. 'Cause in order to keep order, hope can't live here. Only fear will suffice. Welcome to Violet.
I've said this in a video months ago or even a year ago that I even addressed some of the racism that actually does exist, legitimate racism, where they don't want black people or any forms of diversity represented at all in comics, video games, and even movies or any form of entertainment. And I've addressed that in a 40-minute video. So if you want to go check that out, you can check it out as well. So as a
I'm not automatically going to assume that's racist because here's the thing. No one likes having things forced down their face, right? Now, we've had, after the pandemic, especially, everything diverse, minority, um, push white people down, white straight man always wrong, you know what I mean? How many times has the original series been remade with a minority character, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Stuff like that. You get tired of seeing that crap. So it's like now that we've pulled the reins back in, they're not so gun-ho about doing that because there was a time, I don't know if y'all remember, there was a time we were in like the 90s, early 2000s, we were kind of getting, just representation naturally, right? It was just natural stuff coming in. You had your Living Singles and Martins and all those TV shows like black sitcoms type shows, and you had Blade, the Blade movies. So it's like, we were getting to a point where there was black popular shit coming out. And then somewhere we just went we just shot right into the stratosphere. And honestly, you shouldn't feel like you have to platform voices. You shouldn't feel like that. You make the stories that you want to make with your characters.
As a black creator, you also have to deal with that. But then there's the other side. And that other side is people always questioning whether your work is black enough. So you end up in this weird space where one side rejects you for simply existing, and then the other side rejects you for not performing your identity correctly, and that's exhausting. And I've experienced this directly with one of my characters. Just a couple months ago on social media, I posted and revealed one of my black female characters who goes by the name Dr. Yolanda Briggs. And she makes her first debut in Variant Killers, Vampire Killers, Chapter 2 next year when I launch my Kickstarter campaign in 2027. So be on the lookout for that. And also shout outs to the voice actress of Dr. Yolanda Briggs, Ekshima. She has done a really good job. Anyway, I did not expect her to bring so much controversy once I made the post, because the blackness crowd has stepped in and told me that she's not a black woman. And just picture this for a minute. The creator, I am the creator, and a black creator on top of that told them that Yolanda Briggs is a black woman, but they're telling me that she's not. And this is from the same crowd on social media that would tell you to respect the author's creation. But now you have a black creator such as myself, and now they're telling me as the creator that that's not a black woman. And no matter how hard I try to plead the case and argue the point that Dr. Yolanda Briggs is a black woman, people still try to override it because Yolanda Briggs doesn't fit their ideal image of what a black character is supposed to look like. Meanwhile, these are the same people online who would claim completely unrelated anime characters as black based on hairstyle and vibes. And what do I mean by that? You have a certain sector of black Twitter or the black anime community that will claim Piccolo as black, will claim Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog as black. But for some reason, to these same people, Yolanda Briggs is not black. We can take it a step farther and take Yurichi from Bleach. For some strange reason, she's considered black, but Dr. Yolanda Briggs isn't black. You see where this conflict is coming from? You see where this is not making any sense? And it gets even more insane when it comes to this. But the fact is that I'm always constantly being told that I'm trying to appease Asian people, white people, because of the artistic style that I chose to go with when it comes to VENUSORIONCOMICS. And now my artist, who is Chinese, who does all of my artwork, her name is Shabibit. She does a great job with all of the animation and work she has done as my artist ever since 2020 up until now. And we've been working together really well. And here it is, we have these group of people telling me that I should fire my artist and get a black artist in order to properly represent my characters.
The black person needs to do the black character because, only they can tell their experience. But the voice of Kratos, for example, he can be a black man. Like, like
And this is getting out of control. And yet, these are the same people that demand these Eastern studios to validate their existence. You can't make this up. At some point, I begin to realize that this conversation isn't really about representation anymore. It becomes identity gatekeeping. And over time,
and I would also say it's about control. I feel like they're a segment of my people that feel like, well, we's was slaves once, so now it's our time to get back. Like we're gonna, so they try to control what they do, control what other people do, because they feel like, well, now we have a good amount of power, so we can put our influence on stuff instead of just like, you know, not trying to harken back to that time. So I think it's a form of control as well, not just what he's saying.
I realized something important. Some people who look like you won't like you for being yourself. Their goal isn't to support your creativity. Their goal is to make sure that you stay inside their version of blackness that they approve of. And if you step outside of that, you become a problem. And honestly, I'm not interested in creating from that mindset. I created VENUSORIONCOMICS because there's stories I want to tell, worlds I want to build, characters I want to explore. And I also reject the idea that black creators should only create stories centered around race or cultural identity.
Amen.
Some creators want to do that, and that's completely fine. And hell, I even supported black creators in their comics that support and only focus on black narrative, black story.
I used to do that too. I used to I would actually set aside every month like at least $100, and then I would just find random black creators and just buy their book. Right? I have a stack of them somewhere. Problem is a lot of those stories are, a lot of them are brother Poe Black stories. I got to the point where I was just like, I'm not going to really do that anymore, because it's just, I just got tired of hearing. How many times can you hear about, oh, where the KKK is hunting us down, police are doing this to us, the corrupt white man is always out to stop the black people from getting ahead. How many times can you hear that before you're just like, all right, I'm done. It's exhausting. It's very exhausting. All these stories that basically have like we're suffering in life and we need a hero to stand up for the suffering black folks. It's like I just got tired of listening to it or reading it. So I stopped doing it.
Stories, that black identity, and they have some great stories. There's also a manga studio that just focuses on the greatness of black identity, which is Saturday AM Studios. You can go check them out. So it exists, but
Mm, mm. I've already I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, who am I to say not be into that type of thing, right?
it's not mandatory. And black creators like myself, such as Eric July in the Ripperverse, and Corey Kenshin in his manga called The Monsters We Make, and just recently Jada Concept just released his own manga.
Oh, that's cool.
Creators like us, we don't adhere to those rules or those social obligations that was thrusted upon us as black creators. We don't adhere to that. We create stories that we want to create, and that should be completely fine. Growing up, I love Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men, Superman, and most definitely Dragon Ball Z. None of those characters look like me, and yet I had a connection with them because
and that's the thing. That's another video idea too. It's like this whole I have to be seen, and what it means by being seen, it means my race. I have to see my skin color. in order for me to connect with somebody, I've never vibed with that. When I was growing up, I looked at Sonic the Hedgehog all the time. Sonic the Hedgehog, Ninja Turtles. Not one time did I go, oh, I just hope that, Sonic has a black hedgehog somewhere. Now, I mean, they have Shadow now, but I didn't go, oh man, I need to be seen. I need a brown hedgehog. I need a black hedgehog. Like I never said there should be a black Ninja Turtle, like a brown Ninja Turtle, and like even when I was looking at Marvel stuff like X-Men and stuff, I never said, oh, they need to have more black people in here. Wolverine's not cool. Wolverine would be cooler if he was darker. Maybe when they did the cloning of Wolverine, um, they should have had like a black female or something. Like it was never a thought in my head to be like, I need to see my skin color. I always identify with, like he's saying, the traits of the character. I never sat there and said, oh, I would identify with Goku and his determination, but he's not black, so I can't relate. Like it was never that. And I don't understand like even like if you think about when you're like a little kid, you don't really give a crap about color. The dude you go to the playground, you're like 5, 6 years old. You go to the playground, there's a dude playing in a sandlot. You're like, hey, you want to play together? And they say yay or nay. You don't sit there and go, oh, he doesn't want to play with me because I'm a black person. You just go, oh, well, that kid doesn't want to play with me. Move on to the next kid. That's usually what your parents would say. Oh, that kid does not want to play with you. Move on to the next kid. There's plenty of people to go hang out with. But then all of a sudden, it's like you get to this point in life where everything is race, 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 racism, racism, bigotry, racism and bigotry, bigotry and racism. And it's like, it doesn't have to be that.
Because great characters connect through pain, ambition, motivation, hope, and ambition, not just
Cool
race.
characters.
Every black kid I knew in the hood loved Dragon Ball Z. Everyone wanted to be Goku and Vegeta, and their race had nothing to do with it. We knew we were those characters. And don't lie, some of you even pretended in your room trying to transform into a Super Saiyan. Nobody cared about their race. We connected with their journey. And that's how I approach storytelling with VENUSORIONCOMICS. No matter black, white, Latino, or Asian, you could pick up a chapter of VK and relate to Hezekiah, Isaiah, Caleb, and even Varian himself. You should be able to connect with Darnell Brooks, the Dust Defender, despite him being black, even with my mixed race characters, such as Princess Adax and Faith Tanaka. Hell, I can't wait to tell Lazarus' story once we explore the cosmic corner of my universe, because these characters deal with struggle and show motivations that anyone can relate to, because these characters are not only just fictional, but they also have hope. They represent that brokenness that people have trying to survive a chaotic world. And at the end of the day, I don't believe that black creators should be forced into a creative box. We should be allowed to experiment, create freely, take inspiration from other culture, and most importantly, tell the stories that we want to tell.
Yeah.
Not stories designed to satisfy a social checklist. Because the moment the creators lose the freedom to create authentically, art starts becoming performance rather than passion. And honestly, I'd rather fail being myself than succeed pretending to be someone that I'm not. So let me ask you, do you feel that creators today are pressured to fit into identity expectations? And should the artist feel obligated to represent their race or culture in a specific way? Let me know in the comment sections below. And thanks for watching this video. This is Brian Howard Blackson Jr. signing off.
Don Margo. To answer his question, do I feel pressured to do it? No, I don't feel pressure to do it because I've never made my stories about that. So it's kind of like I've never felt like I wanted to be a part of the tribe of black people that do black comics. My parents weren't this like, yeah, go out there and rah rah rah, and you know, they never put in my head to see society as, you know, us versus society, us versus the white man and stuff like that. They've always said, look, you know what's right from wrong. so so it doesn't matter if, you know, you're around a white person, you're around a Mexican person or anything. You know what kind of behaviors you should be doing and what kind of behaviors you shouldn't be doing. So I never had that, like, oh, I need to stand up for my people. He's 100% right. I would say to lay off the racism part, because I feel like black people in general are just quick to go instantly to racism. I'm not concerned about it because it's like I'm doing my own thing. And if people that like it, they like it, and if they don't, they don't. And that's it. But as the kids would say, base base black creator right over there. Go support him. Venus Orion Comics. Go over there, support him. Very, very cool guy. And I love his work. I'm probably gonna purchase it. But that's it for now. If you want to support the channel and the website, then go over and buy yourself some stuff in our store on frayofficial.com. We got comics, we got board games, we got prints. I can do commissions for you. Let a brother know. Like, share, save, follow, do all those things. Continue creating and continue valuing yourself.
The world collapsed, and the last survivors of humanity retreated beneath the massive dome surrounding the city of Azure, protected by artificial gods known as the Gold Eye. For 2 years now, the people of Azure believed the outside world was uninhabitable, until a stranger arrives, claiming humanity can finally leave the dome behind. Inlock is a dark sci-fi fantasy manga about broken gods, political control, and challenging what it means to survive. Check out volume 1 through 4 on www.frayofficial.com.